get me?
Timer ready?
Did you get me?
Timer ready?
You got me. Okay. Oh, beautiful.
When you think of marijuana, probably the first words that pops into your head is either weed, pot, getting high, or stoned. Ever since the late 60s and early 70s, marijuana has been the most widely used illicit drug in the United States and Western Hemisphere. The image that has been engraved into our minds of using marijuana has been known for using the substance for non-medicinal purposes. Though the use of medical marijuana may be controversial, hundreds if not thousands of patients have benefited from the prescribed use of medicinal marijuana. The use of this upcoming drug may be a key component to helping not only people like my uncle who passed away in 2009 from painful colon cancer, but also families that have small children that are facing terrifying and excruciating diseases. Marijuana has a few side effects compared to traditional medication. In the United States, someone dies from a prescription drug overdose every 19 minutes. Today, there has been no documented case of death from a marijuana overdose. However, the medical use of marijuana remains illegal under federal law. The United States government believes that marijuana is a Schedule I drug, which is considered to be the most addictive drug and has no medicinal benefits. But the irony of this statement is that the United States has patented one of the most powerful chemicals in the plant. Researchers that are interested in clinical studies face a variety of different and difficult barriers that are due to limited research funds, daunting regulations at federal level, and those of the Food and Drug Administration and the Drug Enforcement Agency, and barriers at state level. Due to marijuana not being legalized throughout the nation, families and patients are finding themselves stuck in an iffy situation. Legitimate patients that depend on marijuana as a medicine find themselves in a difficult situation. Oftentimes, marijuana is the only medication that works to relieve their symptoms. Nausea, appetite loss, or chronic pain is caused by various diseases or even treatments from these diseases. The Institution of Medicine study team received more than 30 reports of different medical uses of marijuana that were carefully reviewed. The report reviews stated that the most prominent symptoms that are reported were relieved by marijuana. Emerging research states that marijuana used for medicinal purposes may protect the body against some tumors and are not neuroprotective. Although the United States government is not in favor in legalizing marijuana, the majority of doctors disagree. About 76% of doctors are in favor for cannabis as a medicine to use to help cure symptoms such as autoimmune diseases, post-traumatic stress disorder, epilepsy, lupus, AIDS, HIV, cancer, and chronic pain. And this is just a picture of medical marijuana. Josh Stanley and his brothers own their own company of growing medical marijuana located in Colorado. They stated that you could send the whole hippie population and you would just be looking at a whole lot of disappointed hippies, stated Josh Stanley. The Stanleys are not worried about the plant disappointing hippies, but they have seen this plant change lives. They have a brand new lab with scientists that are turning their plants into medicines. Joel Stanley, one of the brothers, was hesitant in becoming involved in the business at first. He avoided marijuana all his life and then received a phone call one day from his older brother, Josh, asking if he wanted to join the family business. Joel stated he thought it was just a way to get his foot in the door to legalize marijuana. The first 3 patients he saw were all cancer patients that were all desperately in need for a cure for the constant appetite loss, nausea, and constant pain when sleeping. He automatically believed them and started to believe there was a cause for medical marijuana. Joel now runs a medical lab for his own local company. The company is expecting to grow over more than 1,000 pounds of medical marijuana in 2014. The company sells half of the marijuana to smoke and half to digest. The Stanleys are starting to protest internationally about the cause of medical marijuana being important. In a recent study, the University of Arizona College of Medicine is preparing for a 3-month study of combat veterans who served in Iraq and Afghanistan who have been suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. 50 veterans that have PTSD symptoms that have not improved under current standard medication will agree to abstain from marijuana use for the next 30 days prior to participation. The veterans will be asked to either smoke or vaporize a maximum of 1.8 grams of marijuana a day, which is equivalent to 2 marijuana cigarettes. The group will be given a weekly supply of various strains of marijuana with THC levels ranging from 0% to 12%. With this particular research, they can figure out which symptoms can be benefited with the help of marijuana. Evidence shows that it doesn't erase the experience, but it definitely helps with the development of PTSD symptoms. 2-year-old Vivian Wilson, a little girl who became a face of medical marijuana in New Jersey, has moved to Colorado hoping to access the correct medicine she needs. Little Vivian faces an average of about 75 seizures per day without the correct dose of Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web is not a plant that gets you high, but it is loaded with a chemical called cannabinol, or CBD, which helps reduce seizures and has therapeutic potential. The drier the plant is, the more it will extract. Charlotte's Web is different than most marijuana plants because it is low in THC and high in CBD. High CBD oil is a proper medicine Vivian needs to help reduce the dozens of seizures she faces every day. With the help of CBD, she has an average of 10 seizures per day and can go outside daily. Marijuana was legalized for municipal use in New Jersey right before Christie took office in January 2010. But once Christie was in office, he blocked the legislation for more than a year. Eventually, he signed one of the most restricting and limiting medical marijuana bills to date and only approved 6 stores in the state. The most crucial part of the bill stated that there was no edible form of marijuana allowed in the state of New Jersey. Brian Wilson, Vivian's father, fought religiously in the public eye last year, hoping to ease New Jersey into making marijuana legal for minors. Brian hoped that his little girl would be able to live a stronger and a pain-free life with the help of the governor passing the bill. Within time, New Jersey accepted the bill of edible marijuana, but the Wilsons faced another obstacle with their doctors prescribing the medication. The last thing a family of a sick child or a loved one needs to worry about is moving in order to get the correct medications. The medication should be promptly available to an ill patient, regarding if the government leaders think it's unbeneficial. Tens of thousands of patients all over the country could benefit from the therapeutical use of marijuana if legalized throughout the country. This chart is a medical marijuana usage percentage, and New Zealand is 22.23%, and then following them is Australia at 17.93%, and then the United States is at 12.3%. And then this chart is from the ABC News and Washington Post polls, and it just states that in 1997, 69 people wanted to legalize marijuana and 27 didn't. And today, 81% of people want to legalize marijuana and 18 don't.
Hey, everyone look here.
Hey man, pass that joint.